Hello and welcome to Your Trades. The week ahead officially kick-started earnings this Friday. So it's turned out to be a flat week, but a hugely volatile Friday. And a sub 6,200 close yet again.
Yeah, but more importantly, it will be extremely news heavy next week. Still defending 6150. So let's see if we do that next week.
Oh yes. And really, the entire action in last week was concentrated towards Friday, and that really dictated the market mood. Two earnings, Infosys, which started off pretty well, or rather, I should say started off the day pretty well. So we were back above 6,200 and well above that level actually. And then came in Innocent Bank and fears as to Innocent Bank's weak asset quality and what that may entail, or rather what other private banking majors may actually do. So that took down with it the entire banking pack as well. For the week, of course, the biggest drag has been from the real estate index. That was the biggest loser and knocked down almost 7.3%, with names like DLF as well knocking sharply in the red. Pharma index held out almost 3%. IT as well did well, and media as well lapped up almost 2% in the green. Banks as well were a big drag with a 3.5% cut coming in, and you had names like Axis Bank which knocked down almost 8%.
Serious movers this week. Look at FT and MCX. Volatile to say the least, and the intra-week would tell you what I'm talking about. Great moves for most of this week. Friday put paid to some of those, but 48% for FT, and the MCX, because of Friday's move, down 9.5 to 10% in trade. So it's been a very interesting week. Of course, needless to say, stocks like BF Utilities continue to rise and shine. It's a good show put up by that one. A lot of mid-cap IT names had a fairly decent week too. So maybe pull up a CMC, pull up a KPIT, Mindtree at a 3% kind of a gain. So selectively, mid-cap IT didn't have a bad week either. But all in all, GVK Power was the other one, which I think on inauguration of the T2 terminal, and maybe news of a couple of other asset sales, gained 11% this week, closing into double digits. But what to do in the week ahead, and what are the stocks to watch out for? Sonam Adasi, Head of Research at IDBI Capital, joins us on the show, as does Sandeep Wagle, Founder and MD of Aptar Technical Advisory Services. Thanks so much for joining in, both of you. Firstly, on the chart, Sandeep, we defended 6150 for the Nifty. How do you expect the Nifty to shape up next week?
Good evening, Neeraj. I think we had talked of a range of 6130, 6140 on the downside and 6240. In fact, today's high and low is almost touched that range. So till 6130 is broken down, I don't want to be bearish. Till 6240 is broken out, I don't want to be bullish. So we are range bound with stock specific moves, and you can play on both sides. Though I think the financials are weak, the IT and the pharma space is looking good. So you can be stock specific. I think that is a better way to go.
Sonam, did Infi surprise you? And did it surprise you enough to change, or rather to have a positive view on Infosys going ahead?
See, frankly, the result was not a big surprise. I mean, there was a marginal beat on the consensus so far on the PAT. That said, the commentary did sort of surprise us positively. It's after a very, very long time that Infi has come out so well and was looking confident in terms of the commentary at least. The reason I think why initially there was a huge leg up for the stock and then sort of watered down was probably that people are realizing that if their confidence level and their sort of commentary is so decent, what can TCS and HCLT deliver? And therefore, you would see both these stocks nearing their two new highs, etc. So I think the street, would look for an outperformance sort of. So that will start building in for TCS and HCLT, and that will be interesting to watch. So for now, we think it will consolidate at these levels. Ultimately, when the other two big giants declare their results and commentary, that's sort of a stamp that FY15 is going to be quite robust for the industry as a whole, and therefore, analysts will look at FY16 and sort of re-rate their earnings, and because the multiples are already at positive numbers. I mean, TCS is trading at 21 times. What more can you do actually?
Sandeep, what's the sense that you're getting about Tech Mahindra? Further momentum?
Well, the choppiness of the Nifty is a little worrying. otherwise, on its own, the IT space is looking good. Even in Infy, I was waiting for a close beyond 3600, which has not happened, but I sense that that momentum will come in. And sooner than later, Infy will go to 3780, 3800. Tech Mahindra, I have a target of 1950 or so. Currently at 1878, will be more comfortable buying in the range of 1850, 1830, that range. But no question of weakness in the IT space, and Tech Mahindra is one of the leading stocks in this space.
Sonam, the other set of stocks which are newsmakers in their own rights were the gold finance companies. And after a while, there is some bit of buying that these stocks have seen, be it Muthoot, be it Manappuram, be it a couple of other spaces like IIFL which have got that exposure into gold loan businesses. But has your view changed on these companies?
See, actually, this is a positive, no doubt about it. They will be able to gear more probably next year onwards. That said, see, the environment where these gold companies used to operate about 3 years back and now, it's become intensely competitive, and gold prices are not going up anyway. It's sort of static, and globally gold prices have been falling. So I think the worry will become, as you increase the LTV ratio, your risk weightages when investors look at this will start to go up. So, to my mind, while there is a spark and spurt, the only leg up will come when all other NBFCs start doing well and, we have some stability. Unless that happens, it's still a trading call. It's unlikely to be something that will be part of your portfolio.
Okay, Sonam, the other stock is a GVK Power, which again we highlighted, and news flow on some of these infra companies is fairly good for GVK, the T2, and the fact that they will probably sell off some assets. We heard similar stories in GMR as well. Is this the time to probably selectively start looking at some of these infra names, particularly GVK?
If you can stomach the volatility and you have some horizon, why not? That said, see, the balance sheets of all these companies will take some time to clean up. I mean, one sale, etc. is not going to make a huge deal of difference to their balance sheet structure. So one has to, it has to be part of your portfolio where you buy it and, shut it for 2 years and see how it goes. Unless you do that, then you will be caught in that trade that happens continuously. Last 2 years, we have seen tremendous volatility in both these counters.
So, Sonam, I think you mentioned at the start of the interview, from the big three, which one would you watch out for the most? I mean, which one do you think will give the best performance? Wipro, HCL or TCS?
So the best performance would be from TCS, no doubt. That said, incrementally, I mean, when you look at incrementally, then Wipro should surprise the markets. And there, I think from a price point, the outperformance should be larger than the other two. Though TCS and HCLT continues to be our top pick. That said, incrementally, that surprise could come from Wipro for as the result season kicks in.
We've discussed how the IT majors are likely to do next week. Let's also talk about some other key numbers, and the heavyweight ITC will come out with numbers and will have a bearing on how the FMCG space moves, at least, if not the index at large. But 2.5% gains this week. Navneet joins in to speak about what's to be expected from the big boy. Navneet.
Well, no major surprise is expected from ITC. If you look at the overall numbers, the top line is expected to grow by about 11%. PAT is expected to grow by about 14%. The PAT growth this time around will be curtailed by higher tax rate.